The shocking truth behind the Devils' moves. This is crazy. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Devils Digest. I'm your host, Ryan the Gosiker, here with you as always, bringing the latest, greatest Devils content, as we always try to do here on Devils Digest. Before we get into the program, I want you to be a subscriber to the channel, and we need your help. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Our goal is to get there before opening night, before puck drop on the 2025-2026 season. So we need your help. Please hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the program. Now today, I want to talk about the Devils' moves and what the Devils' offseason is starting to look like, because as the calendar continues to roll on, the offseason kind of, you could start to see the plan, right? It's all, before July 1st. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Now we're starting to see things take shape and what they're going to look like. And, I want to dive into a little bit of the Devils' signing of Thomas Bordeleau. And, I read this article about, this, because I didn't know too much about him before they signed him, still learning about him and his game and everything. But it seems like this is a make or break year for him. And, it's only a 1-year league minimum deal. So obviously it can't hurt New Jersey salary cap wise, right? I mean, it's the league minimum. Like, you can't get much lower than that. It's only a 1-year deal. If he hits big, then, that's great. He goes and makes a lot of money for himself for next offseason. And, if he stinks, it's, the guy was on a league minimum. My problem is, and one that I'm sure a lot of us have concerns with, and something that I've been reading in your comments, okay? This is just some more background on him, the league minimum. He's only 23 years old, but obviously hasn't shown a lot in San Jose. Now, again, the big question is going to be is, and it says at the bottom, some unearthed potential. Excuse me if I could speak. But that unearthed potential, is that something New Jersey can get out of him? Is it something just San Jose couldn't get out of him? We're going to find out. But really, as you continue to look forward, and here's just some more stats, he has some good underlying metrics on the power play, which he'll, if he saw any time with New Jersey on the power play, it'd be power play 2, obviously. Okay. And he was victim to some poor finishing. Okay. So we'll see if he can be better at that this upcoming season. But there is a thought that he could make the Devils roster as a bottom 6 center. So this is where I want to get into this. And I'll just put up one more graphic for you. You can read it, just kind of going through the Devils roster and all that kind of stuff. But the idea that this guy on a league minimum, supposedly playing for his career, is now going to come in and slot into Devils 3C, right? I think it made a mention of it in this one that said, based on his lack of size, he could slot into 3C. I'm not sure if it's there. That's my fault. But the idea that this guy playing for his career is going to slot into 3C when Devils fans have been banging the drum, needing a 3C, needing a legit 3C, right? We've talked about Dawson Mercer in that spot, but seemingly they want him to go to wing. They want him to play wing more. Okay, I think maybe he's more effective out there. Again, just only one way to find out. But clearly they don't view him as a center, because now you've got Cody Glass and Bordeleau. And, I don't know what to say as a Devils fan. This is completely underwhelming. I don't like this move at all, to be honest with you. I think it's bargain shopping is what it is. And the Devils are in a tough spot with their salary cap. I understand that, but there's a lot of teams that get into some very hasty situations with their salary cap. And guess what? Somehow, some way, they magically figure it all out. Okay, so I don't like that excuse of just, they're tied up against the salary cap. They knew they were going to be tied up against the salary cap. They've had a year. They've known for a year how close they were going to be on salary cap coming in to this offseason and stuff like that. They knew Luke Hughes was going to be up for an extension. Okay, so why weren't moves made quicker? Now, that's the overall grand scheme of things. I want to stick to this move in particular. I don't see it. I see him as a 4C at best, as a depth fill-in. Honestly, I would rather trot out there Hischier, Hughes, Mercer, Glass as your 4 centers. I really don't. I don't see it. I don't. And maybe that's just naive on my part, and you can let me know in the comments what you think, but I don't see how this guy waltzes into the room, is playing for his career, and all of a sudden is lighting up the Devils' fourth line as their center. Okay, and again, as I mentioned, there was some pieces in this article, I don't know if I clipped it or not, but that talked about how with his size and everything, it fits him better as a 3C. And that's just, I can't believe we walked in the offseason saying the Devils need a winger to play with Jack Hughes and a 3C, and they've walked away with neither one of those. Neither one of those right now, as of this moment in time in July. And again, big things could still happen, whatever, but the clock is ticking. And, again, that last sentence is just a killer. If not, no harm, no foul for Tom Fitzgerald and come. Like, this is where we're at. You want this team to be a contender, and this is where we're at. We're taking flyers on guys who might be our 3C or should be our 4, should really be our 5C, okay, and is then thrusted into 4C because we don't want Dawson Mercer playing center. And then actually he's too small, so we actually might need to move him up to 3C instead of leaving him on the fourth line. So what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know what the Devils are doing. Again, if he hits and it's a big, he has a big year, whatever, but, or not whatever, but it would be really good for New Jersey, obviously, and good for us fans. But I just can't believe that we've known this for, I want to say even going back into not even last year, the year before, knowing the Devils needed a 3C. And where is it? It's nowhere to be found. And, I think fans, and, I don't know, and obviously leave me a comment. Are you kind of in the same boat? A little frustration, okay? Because, certainly I am, because the Devils have known they've needed these options, and they've done nothing. They literally have moved nothing. I wish, great 3Cs could fall out of the sky for the league minimum, but it's not really how it works. So we're gonna see, and it's gonna be interesting. Again, I think Bordeleau should have been a guy that, if Hischier goes down, if Jack Hughes goes down, you slide everybody up and you bump him into the lineup, not him starting the year in the lineup. So the Devils have a lot of unproven guys. All right, you're looking in that bottom 6, right? Lamico, you see it right there. Gritsuk, obviously, like we all think he's going to be awesome, but do we really know? Do we really know how good he's going to be? I can't say I do, right? Paul Cotter's coming off a career year. Is he going to follow that up with another career year? That's a tough question. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions to be answered around this team, and this move just does nothing for me, in my opinion. So I want to know what you think. Leave us a comment. What do you think about the Thomas Bordeleau signing? What do you think about it being a career year for him? What do you and the Devils 3C 4C situation? I don't like it. They've done nothing to address it, in my opinion. But I don't know. I want to know what you think, because I'm frustrated. I'm waiting for these moves to happen, for something to happen, and this is what we get. This is the big move. It's very frustrating. So I know patience is a virtue, so there's still time in the offseason, but man, I can't help but to be upset that this is our 3C option. A guy who couldn't get it going in San Jose, who at 23 years old might be playing for his career. That's just insanity to me, to think that's the fix. Well, we'll see. But I appreciate you guys for listening, for watching here on Devil's Digest. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Be a subscriber to the channel. Our goal is 1,000 by opening night, so we need your help. We are over the 700 plateau. Please, please, please subscribe and leave us a comment. What do you think? What do you think about the Bordeleau signing? And again, do you share my frustrations? I know there are some of you that aren't big Tom Fitzgerald fans, so I'm sure I'm going to get some agreements on that, but let me know what you think in the comment section. We'll catch you next time on Devil's Digest.